it's a hugely sticky situation. And I think the real trick here is how do we create, we haven't figured this hybrid office out at all yet, right? We're still in the very early stages. But I think the big issue that employers are going to have to deal with is, first of all, how do you entice those people back into the office? But not only that, if you have some people remote and some people commuting in, what you have to be really, really careful about is not to create a dual class citizenship where one class of workers gets more pay and more benefits than the others. And one of the things, Brian, that people have been talking about is, should there be some sort of stipend to help you pay for these crazy commuting costs that do feel like a pay cut? And I have to say, I'm against an overall stipend, like just a general, here's a check, because again, you could have this dual class citizenship issue where it's essentially a pay cut to the people who are staying at home. But I do think
but Joanne, it was a pay raise. They didn't act like it became a raise because the pandemic came out of nowhere and suddenly everybody was sitting at home. I mean, so it was never really the raise to begin with.
No. But what I'm saying is, if you give some people just a blanket stipend, here's, $1,000 for you for your commute, but this other class of people doesn't get it. So one class of people gets more money. What I'm saying is, it actually might make sense to have a reimbursement policy. So if you work 5 days a week, or if you work 2 days a week, or if you only occasionally come into the office, perhaps there could be a reimbursement for your commuting costs to help take the sting out of it. And by the way, the proposal that you're talking about in New York for lower paid workers, they are saying that you would get a tax credit if you make less than $60,000. You would get a tax credit that would make up for the increase. So that would help somewhat. But I do think this reimbursement would make sense with income, with some sort of income level. Ken Griffin's guys, the hedge funders, are not going to need that.
Joanne, if you could find a worker making under 60 grand a year that drives into Manhattan, I'll buy you lunch. I think that tax credit's all smoke and mirrors. Alan, let's talk about it. And Joanne's right about this dual class of workers. I get it, because there's going to be a lot of resentment. Why can she stay home or he stay home, but I have to drive? Let's be honest, though. Only about 20% of Americans ever telecommuted, even during the pandemic. The essential workers, grocery store, they schlepped it in and out every day to help us as well. I hear the dual class sort of, worker citizen argument, but I think companies are probably just going to have to get tough here, right?
Well, I don't know about companies getting tough. I think the bottom line is that the labor market is an ultimate free market situation. So really, this boils down to leadership. We've been doing different things for people forever when it comes to compensation and rewards. We, as a firm, we have a huge compensation consulting capability that's talking about this every day to clients. The fact of the matter is, if you're a leader and your people are facing issues related to let's call it return to the office. I don't even know that we call it return to the office. Why don't we say how we work now? Because return to the office assumes that there's a necessity for that. We don't know what the necessity is. The bottom line is it's leadership. What do you do for your people that are encountering more expenses in a commute? What do you do for your people who may be saving money by not commuting? You do what makes sense as a leadership team. You come up with a strategy and you execute against it. It's no different than any other business factor that you have to address as a leader. So bottom line is, know what's happening. What do you want for your company's culture? Come up with an approach for dealing with it. Listen to your people. We all talk about listening to the voice of the customer. It is a seller's market for talent. The customer is your employee in this situation. Listen to them. Do what is going to work for them, and you'll have high engagement, and you'll be an employer of choice. There are no rules. As Joanne said, there are no rules. We have to do what makes sense in your organization.
Doesn't this discussion go away, though, in short order? I mean, the chairman of the Federal Reserve has told us that we will see higher unemployment. And as that unemployment goes higher, doesn't this whole discussion go away and we no longer treat workers like they're unicorns, because they won't be, Joanne?
That's a great point. Yeah, Melissa. So this is the issue, right? We're in such a tight labor market now. The employee has the upper hand. If that goes away, right, if we come to a point of higher unemployment, then suddenly the employer now gets the upper hand. But I want to make a point that goes to what Brian said at the very beginning of this conversation. which was trying to be about the employer trying to get people back to the office in the market that we have right now. And I do think a huge issue that we're seeing is that we sort of know for cultural reasons, for mentoring reasons, how important it is to be back in the office. But there doesn't seem to be a specific sort of reason for the employer, for the employee. So it seems very arbitrary. I was talking to the top executive of one of our largest companies very recently who said, we're trying to get people to come in 3 days a week. And I said, why 3 days a week? And this person said, we want them 3 days a week. I'm like, that's really not a reason. If you're listening, if you're sitting there at home, it just seems very arbitrary. So you need to actually explain to people what you will be doing and why it is essential that you be in the office for that reason.